Hello, everybody. We are starting today with Kipper Cards from scratch. I am going to wait for a few people to come on. And as you come on, please put your name in the comments. Please say hello in the comments so I know who you are, where you're from. Hi, Christina. It's lovely to see you. You're on YouTube, so I actually get to see your name. Put your name in the comments. Hi, Annette. I am streaming. Hi, Marlies. I am streaming to the World Kipper Association group on Facebook and also on YouTube. Hi, Garth. Hi, Yasna. Hi, Karen. Hi, Joe. And we're going to run through the Kipper system. We're going to run through it as beginners-like as we can. Hi, Tara. Hi, Meta. Hi, Tiny. Exactly, Christina. So we're going to get excited about Kipper. Hi, Rita. Yes, your name shows today, Garth. Hi, Rosemary. Somebody says, hi, Toni, very happy to see you. I don't see your name. If you want to put your name in, I can say hello to you. Hi, Jacqueline. If some of you, I refer to you. Hi, Jane. If I refer to any of you as Facebook user, hi, Toni, hi, everyone is a Facebook user on mine. It just means that StreamYards, the platform that I'm using, isn't showing me, no, it isn't, Karen, isn't showing me your name. There is a link at the top of the post that you can click on. Hi, Vicky. There is a link at the top. Hi, Drew. Oh, it's Janice. Hi, lovely to see you. So there's a link at the top of the Facebook post. Hello, Melanie. That allows StreamYard to show me your name, privacy and all that. So we're jumping into the Kipper system. I would be interested in hearing what your views are on the Kipper system, whether you know the Kipper system, whether you are brand new, or whether you have any stumbling blocks that you are not sure of. Hi, Yasna. Hi, Karen. Lovely to see you. I saw you were in the group, Karen. It will be in the announcements section up at the top of Facebook. Hi, Tori. Yes, StreamYard always wants more, doesn't it? Gold reader, absolutely you are. Garth is actually one of my favorite Kipper readers. Hi, Christina. You're brand new and starting the classes perfect. Hi, Ronnie. And again, Facebook user, hi, Toni. Hi, everyone. I don't see your name. Hi, Natasha. Hi, Jay. So we're going to jump into the Kipper cards. Hey, I'm a Linneman reader, but find Kipper very interesting. If you're a Linneman reader, you will absolutely love the Kipper system, Gustavo. And I'm going to jump in right back at basic level, the fundamentals of how you can get the most out of your Kipper reading. No, you're not, Karen. I'm sorry. It must just not like you today. We are going to look at the cards, what they present to us. We're going to look at the Bavarian Kipper reading method. Tara says she started using them last year after the first conference, but don't use them enough. I think that's always the case. If we're comfortable with one system, it's sometimes difficult to switch over. My comments are jumping, so I apologize if I don't see yours. Hi, Ronald. Greetings and salutation. Brand spanking new to Kipper. That's exactly what we love. Passionately brand new learner. Perfect. Malise has my book and cards. Thank you. Rainbow Kipper, which is what I will be using today. Ronnie says, I'm pretty familiar with Kipper. I finished the guidebook that came with the Rainbow Kipper. Brilliant. I've got that here with me. Actually, the guidebook for the Rainbow Kipper does give you a lot of information that's brilliant. Is that you, Karen? I'm in Facebook now. It does give you a lot of information on the foundations and how to start with Kipper. The interesting thing about the Kipper deck is that it is or was very little known, and it was only since really Churro brought out the fin de siècle that we saw a rise in Kipper reading. It's obviously a German deck, Kipperkarten, and it is a deck that comes with its very own unique personality. It comes in, it can show predictive reads. You can predict with Kipper accurately. You can also see situations grow and storylines grow. It is a deck that it can be used in any life situation, really, and give you an advice also that isn't sugar-coated in any way. It doesn't tend to be quite as bitchy as the gypsy cards, but it is good at uncovering some skeletons maybe that you have in your closet or your client has in your closet, and really easy to pick those out. So it's very quick to jump in with maybe a little bit of judgment at times. So the Kipper deck is a really fluid deck. Hello, Amia. We see the system, a lot of people read it similar to Linneman, but once you actually lay it and read it in the Bavarian Kipper reading method, you find there's a lot more information and you aren't left with any questions afterwards. And that's because within the Kipper imagery, we have visual cues that can jump our read into different areas. If you, for example, have like the death card in Tarot, or even in gypsy cards, you sometimes see the death card and actually pull clarification. I see a lot of readers pulling clarification on what that death actually is. In the Kipper cards, you actually don't need to pull clarification because you've got the clarification around it, because you've got the visual cues that came with the deck. Thank you, Christina. I like this new room. It's not finished yet. My stuff from Germany hasn't arrived yet, so it will be very full very soon. So the main thing about Kipper is the use as an interpersonal relationship deck. Each deck comes with a main character 1, which is usually in the old decks, the male character. And the second character is our main character 2, which performs the partner role. So depending on which deck you have, you may see that your main characters look this way, back to back. You may see that they look face to face. That's because the original Kipper deck, originally first ever, they faced face to face. But in what we describe as a printing error, the decks after around 1920 were transposed. So we see the couple looking back to back. Either way, your deck is perfect to use. And the reason it is great in interpersonal relationships is because you can see if they are in a good relationship and kissy kissy, or if they are back to back and maybe rubbing heads a little bit, banging heads, or maybe just not seeing eye to eye, or don't have a lot of time for one another in that time frame that we see. So the first cards we always look for is our main characters, and are they in a good place, or are they maybe ignoring each other, or just don't have as much time as they would like. And then it gets even more interesting because we have our people cards. And in the Rainbow Kipper, it's super easy and useful because we have our color coding. So in the Rainbow Kipper, we know our people are green and we can pick them out easily. They are our neutral cards generally. And by neutral, I mean that when they are people, they are determined on where they fall, determines what their relationship is with the main characters. So for example, we have our good lady, who is an older lady. And if she falls behind somebody's back, then again, we see them not seeing so eye to eye. But if she falls even between them, then everybody's getting along with good lady. I'm just looking at the comments. I love the original deck too, Garth. Mine hasn't arrived yet. It's still in transit. We're still waiting for that lorry to make it over the sea and into Ireland. It should arrive in Ireland today, Northern Ireland. So we have our people cards. And people cards in Kipper show us our interpersonal relationships. They show people in your day or in your life in general, and how we relate to one another, exactly what kind of role they will be playing in your life. And in smaller spreads, we also have the option for our people to be an essence read. So if you think about your tarot and your court cards, you can either apply them as a person or you can apply them at their core value. And yes, I did, Vicky. And we do exactly the same with our Kipper cards. Our good lady, for example, is somebody, as an essence, she is joyful, a joyous feeling. Again, when she's a person, she can also bring that joy in, but if she's sat behind your back, then she will start to get a little bit annoying in your life. Infant can be a child, obviously, or it brings in that playfulness that we have as a child, or a newness that we have. Rich girl is either a younger woman in your life, or she brings in the spontaneity of that energy of a younger person. Rich gent is her counterpart, like any mother, exactly. Oh, I'm a mother. I shouldn't say that, should I? The rich gent then comes in with, imagine he's a younger person, colleague, brother, etc. in your life. But if he comes in as an essence read, or as not as a person, but rather the general being of him, think about what a single male is like when they are really striving to enjoy their life or make their life the best that they can. And then we have our good gent, and he is a really solid father figure who comes into our lives with any support that we need. If he's behind our back, that support can be quite judgmental or, again, annoying. But as an essence card, if he comes in and he's not a person, he comes in with good news and a little bit of good stability into your life. I often get the good gent coming up when I'm teaching, for example. Good gent will often come into my day when I have a live where I am sharing some or supporting the reading community in some way. Thank you, Bruno, for buying my courses. Thank you, Vicky. So those cards are the ones that actually, when people switch from Lunneman, they think, oh my God, there's a lot of people in here. I don't have that many people in my life. And they don't always have to be people. In a daily, for me, I get good gent a lot, like I say, when I'm teaching or when I'm providing a supporting role. Or even if I go to somebody for support, I will get good gent. But when you look in the Grand Tableau, the Grosse Tafel, which is the 36 card spread, then you are probably looking at people. The majority of the time, it will be people. So the good rule of thumb is, in a small spread, it could just be an essence read. But in a big spread, you're probably looking at interpersonal relationships and how they affect you. That's my main people. The good thing then, again, is we have different kind of cards that give us more explanations. And that especially comes with our, sorry, I've kicked my printer, with our movement cards. In the Rainbow Kipper, they're all blue, but if you separate them in your deck, you have, let's do it the right way around, we have change. Hi, Miguel. We have journey, a gift, and a long way. And each of these cards gives you more information on a situation. So if you get all your movement cards together, you can see a time when things are really happening fast, or so much change all comes in at once. Your life changes in a day. It can bring in hecticness that I've got so much to do, or just if you have a day where you are a mum shuttle, taking your kids back and forth and really just going from one appointment to the next, you will have a lot of movement cards in there. So as you see, we're only on type 3 of cards in the Kipper deck. As soon as you lay with Kipper, you can get a feeling about whether that day is going to be a busy day, whether it's going to be a quiet day, whether there's going to be a lot of back and forth with things going on. And that's simply by knowing the sections of your cards, these sections of the Kipper cards. So how do they provide us with more information than, say, Good Gent? The movements on these cards actually allows you to take extra cards into interest. So if I'll choose the easiest one, which is change, if you have the change card and you note the direction of which your card is facing, you could have a card either side. And you look at the car and you imagine it driving away from this and into this. So the change that is occurring, we don't just have to say there is a change. We can actually see precisely what the change is. It's changing from that into that. In this occurrence, we have the 27 unexpected money card, which is our amazing upturn card, suddenness, surprises, things coming in. Changes into high honors, so it brings respect for it. So you get a change from the spontaneous into the solidified and pat on the back. So if you were having a work day, for example, you could say, well, all that if you've winged it maybe a little bit, it will actually change into a high honors, a pat on the back for doing a really good job. So you've got that more information without laying any extra cards to confirm it. Hello, Hugh. It's nice to see you. So you've got that extra information without laying any clarifiers, without laying extra spreads to see what that change actually is. It's there in the cards for you to see. And the same with all the movement cards. We have a long way here, and the long way, you see the road starts at the bottom without a lot of vague language. That's really true. My change card is traveling from left to right. So moving a way card is from the left towards the card on the right. Absolutely. Very good question. What happens if you have one card change and then there's no card here because you have, that's the end of the spread. You have two options there. You either stick with the fact that you understand that the change or whatever it's coming to is in the future, past the timescale that you have laid for, or you say, I'm going to use the Bavarian Kipper method and I'm going to use movements and I'm going to lay an extra card to find out exactly where that change goes to. And pull another one on the movement. And that's the beauty of the Kipper system, is that you can use what we call a fluid spread or a movement spread, where you use these red cards, which we'll see in a minute, the stop cards in your deck, to put a stop on the sentence, to put a stop on the read. So if we look at Long Way now, Long Way has a slightly different movement. It comes from beneath where the road starts. So you can say there's communication that comes in, and then a long way starts. So the long way starts with the card beneath it. I have to look, it's backwards when I look at myself. And it goes to the side. So again, on your deck, just look which way that your, hi Vera, which way that your road bends, and look to the card beneath to understand where this long way starts. And the long way is a card for something that requires patience, something that requires time, something that it can be our 2-year card, for example. But if you've pulled a daily, then you could be looking towards the end of the day. So this long, from starting through to finish, is a long process during the day. And at the end of it, we have great fortune. So we can say this communication that comes in, it takes you a long time, but then you see it for the amazingness that it is, or it brings in great fortune with it, which is our trump card in the Kipper deck. One of my favorites in particular is the gift card. So if you pull the gift card out in your Kipper deck, you will see that, or you should see, that there is a movement from above down to below. It is a card that we can see what the source of the gift is, coming from above. So Hope Great Water is above it, going down into gift. And then a good outcome at the bottom. So the offer or gift that's coming in is sat above, and the one beneath actually is either the outcome of that, or how you feel about that offer, how that offer comes into you. And then we obviously have journey. And you look at your card again, you see the movement. It should be a diagonal movement that you see with your journey card. And you see the beginning of your journey. Whoops, I'll use a different one because we've used that one already. I'm only using the red cards because they're all together. So you see the beginning of the journey being dragged up through the journey card. And this shows you that before this journey starts, you have work and living room, which if it was a personal reading, you were talking about spirituality or similar, then you're looking at internal work on self. Or if it literally is a work read, or you're going into work that day, then you can say that this starts in your office, because we have a living room and work together. And that's the start of the journey. And the journey takes us up then to house. And it could be quite as simple as you're in the office, you get in the car and you go home. as practical as that. It could, on the other hand, be that the work that you are doing brings experience in the journey and success in the house. Hi, Matt. Thank you. Right back at you. I will respond to your PM after. I was just getting ready for this. So the geniusness of the Kipper cards really is not to get bogged down with what I've just told you. So don't sit there and freak out. Oh my God, I can't remember what that direction was, or I can't remember what I'm doing here. Just look at the imagery on the deck that you have and allow yourself to go with that movement. Allow your brain to take that movement into consideration, because it's something that we've really lost the art of in cartomancy and reading in general, is the art of following the movements and the visual cues that are in there to give you more information about the ones around it. So if that wasn't enough, we have a whole heap of stop cards, and these are the ones that stall. If they are on their own, then they are simply an ending to the read. So they are simply showing how the read culminates in that time frame set. If you, whoops, got those upside down. If you, on the other hand, get a lot of stop cards altogether, you can suggest this is a situation that doesn't have any movement in it. Your situation is stalled. You are in a status quo that you aren't getting out of. So you, for example, if you pull a 9-card spread and you get 5 of them that are red or that are your stop cards, I believe we have in the World Kipper Association group on Facebook, we have instructions in there with a reference to stop cards and which are. So if you have a lot that don't show movement, then it could be, for example, a slow day. It could be a day when just the usual happens, nothing majorly incoming, nothing majorly outgoing, just one of those run-of-the-mill days where you just get stuff done. And that's our stop cards. And the stop cards we use, like I said before, if you have a movement and you lay an extra card, you lay until it's the Rainbow Kipper hue. I have done it with Stephen Bright and Schiffer Publishing. It came out, or it's actually coming out right now. So you continue to lay until one of your stop cards lands, till it hits the desk and you know, brilliant, that's the end of my read. Would a Zen master pulling a daily box read mainly get all stop cards daily? Honestly, I don't think so, because even when a person is what we call a Zen master, they are always growing personally. They are always growing their own even meditation practices or their Zen practices. So I wouldn't expect that to show stops. I would expect that still to show movement within the day, because with energy and with Zen, there is still a level of energetic happenings. You might not see as many physical happenings if one sits and meditates all day, for example, but it would still show the spiritual side of that and the movement of the spiritual side. I have heard that infant is 0 to 10, 12, and above 12, you use rich girl or rich gent. Absolutely. I would still tend to class Nate, my 9-year-old, as child, and Lloyd, my 13-year-old, is rich gent. I think so too, Garth. That flow of read, especially when you have the grand tableau out and you can flow from beneath to above, it's just such a freeing narrative, a freeing feel. It's almost like a wave of interpretation that comes out when you look. Joel Masters, I presume that you are using the mystical kipper, which is or has been said that it is more representative of an oracle deck than the kipper system. Okay. If you have any questions as we go along, please just put them in the comments. So when it comes to types, we also have another type, and that is our connect cards. And these are such a lovely balanced group. We have, let's have a look, those two and those two. We have 2 positive connectors and we have 2 negative connectors. They are the cards with 2 people on in the original Kipper deck. So it's easy to spot them because they have 2 people on there. We have marriage, convene, which is your togetherness card, short illness, and court official. And the most amazing thing for me about this, it is Joe, yeah, but you choose, if you have that deck, you either choose to ignore the movements and read it similar to a Linneman deck, or to apply the movements yourself. Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So the convene, the thing I personally like about the convene card is that when you're reading on time scales, it's very easy to see if there is a convoluted situation, or a situation that is lasting a long period of time. For example, you start a project at work and there's some down patch in there, but you get together and you sort it out. It shows a time period spreading all the way across a GT, for example. And if you do timing, you can say already, let's have him at the end. We'll read in his direction because he is our main character. You can say that in the first month he starts, second month is the where things are going really well. Third month here we have convene in there, so they're working really well together. And then we have short illness. It starts taking it down, and that's 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month. 5 months, we have disputes on it or the necessary process to keep going. Then you have an offer coming in, which you could see above and below what the offer is and what the outcome is, and a stop card to end the read with then. So you can actually see timescale wise how long projects take, how long a situation takes to pan out, whether there are any diversions in it with journey jumping into the mix, whether that convoluted thing will take a long time because long way comes into the mix with that 2-year card really bringing that slowness in. So you can use the convene. You can use the connector cards as, again, a full information on a situation, because the two connector cards join the cards flanking either side in a story together. So what is this marriage? You may see marriage and think, oh, it's someone's getting married. You may think, oh, love is on the cards, for example. But if you are looking in a GT, and at one side of marriage you have win-lots, and at the other side you have I can't see, it's back to front. You have sorrow, just as an example, 2 stop cards. Doesn't matter, doesn't have to be a stop card, but they're both dragged into this commitment of marriage. That tells you that this isn't probably to do with love. It's more likely to do with finances bringing someone down, the commitments of finances bringing someone down, or even that sorrow is, for example, I wish I hadn't committed to that. It's a lot, win-lots. It's great, and I probably do well from it, but I really wish I hadn't committed to that. So the connector cards work as a bringing in. I've just dropped cards, bringing in the cards either side into the state of the card that's there. So into the commitment of state of marriage, or actually the state of marriage, into togetherness, what's coming together. We look to the cards either side. Prison and good outcome. Put your interpretations in. I would love to hear that, because our convene is that amazing warm feeling of being with people that we really get on with. But thank you, Vera. Either side of it, we have prison and good outcome in love. How would you merge these together into, I'll answer that question in a second. How would you bring those together in convene? What story is that telling you? Put them in the comments while I just answer this question. The difference between convene and state of marriage. State of marriage is very much a commitment card. It is the state of your commitments. If you have financial cards either side, you could say it's financial commitments, or, for example, subscription-based finances. So it's very much a yes. It doesn't necessarily bring things into a positive way. It shows you the stateness of it. I really like that. Happiness in lockdown. That's amazing. You are isolated but happy. And then, sorry, the convene card then is, if Netflix and chill like it, if you go to a Comic-Con, or think about whatever thing you are really enjoying. What is your passion in life? If you are a reader, maybe it's Reader Studio, for example, the UK Tarot Conference, or even Divination Pride, which will be live on the 26th of June. Did you like that plug? It's really a togetherness, whereas state of marriage is the state of a connection. The convene really drives things together, and you feel that warmth within you. If we look at the cards, we had some good interpretations. We have prison, convene, and good outcome. And the convene is that togetherness and bringing that warmth together. And the good outcome is easy because that's that super positive warmth as well within. The prison card can be isolation. It can also be secrets coming to light, for example. Could be an intimate time together, sharing secrets that has a really nice outcome to it, for example. And then our other cards are our court official, which is one of my favorite cards, and it is a necessarily evil card. It is a card that brings necessity with it. It's something that we probably don't want to do, but something that we actually have to do. It can bring together or any card into that. This is a necessity that needs to be done. It is a process that needs to be done, whether that be I need to switch my driving license from a German one to a UK one, for example. You know, so it can mean, for example, when I was writing my book, I got convene a lot. And I do anyway. I do get convene a lot. It's one of those cards that actually presents in my day a lot because I am somebody who is dealing with business processes a lot, for example, or doing chores that maybe I don't want to do, but they are needed for the stuff in it so that I can do the stuff that I want to do. So it is that kind of bringing together of the two cards either side into something that is a necessary evil, perhaps. Can also show things like therapy, or counseling, or anything of an official nature as well that we have to do. And then we have short illness, and short illness is what it says. It is illness. It is a short period of illness. Somebody says, I thought it was legal stuff. I would only see it as legal stuff if prison was nearby, maybe military person in the mix, court in the mix. I would exams are brilliant. Yeah. I would want to see confirming cards to see legals of a legal nature. So like I say, prison, military person, yeah, maybe also at times good gent in the mix as a lawyer or similar to see the actual legalities coming in. Short illness is a period at which it's like, you know, you're really not feeling the groove. You're really not into that. And it brings everything into that. So it can either show the cards either side as what's bringing you down or what is causing that lull, or it could also be, for example, if people are nearby, you could see people who aren't in your best interest or who really don't do you well when they're around. Can obviously show illness, but it will be a short lasting illness unless fatality is near, which shows the longer illness. So it generally shows a down patch. And especially if you have something like sad news nearby, gloomy thoughts or sorrow, that really then is a drop into, you could even see depression if you had gloomy thoughts, sorrow, and short illness in the mix, maybe over your main character, so it's really weighing them down. The interesting thing is it is also seen as our sex card. But I would stay away from a sex-based reading interpretation unless you see cards to corroborate that. Exactly. It's a connector. It's like the convene card, but with it drags you down rather than bubbles you up. So yeah, it is known as the sex card because of the times at which the Kipper deck was created. So if you have loads of positive cards around it and you have people around it, that's the time at which I would suggest sex with the short illness card. And then the final set of cards, and I know this is a lot of information, but if you lay your cards out actually in a grand tableau, you can see them very easily by just relaxing and watching which way the cues are on the cards, or which way they're looking. The cards then that we have here in yellow in the Rainbow Kipper are the cause and effect cards. Employ these if you don't want to, but it gives you more information on what it is you're looking at. For example, dishonesty in the mix. If you have dishonesty in the mix, you want to know what's wrong. You want to know, number one, is it a person that is causing the dishonesty? And number two, how's that going to affect me? You don't want to see dishonesty and be confused as to what it could be. So, for example, on the imagery, the back of the person on your imagery, whoever, if there's a person sat behind that, watch out, because that person is dodgy or they are not being truthful in the situation. And then the card in front will show how it will affect you. Brings you down, sorrow. If there isn't a person card there, and we are looking at, for example, change or any other card behind the door, this is going to cause issues. Whatever sat behind that door is going to cause you issues, and it's wrong in some way or another. That can help you in a lot of ways. For example, if you had journey behind it, and you would then understand that whatever you had planned, or if you were doing a work reading, you were asking about future positions, etc., or the journey that you are taking in life, and it's sat behind the door of dishonesty, you know that you're on the wrong track somehow. And you can see how it affects you. And you can quickly rule out people if there's not a person sat behind this door. Have a look at your decks and see, you know, what the door looks like or what the person on dishonesty looks like and what's hidden behind them. What information can we grab from that? Gloomy thoughts is similar. You see why you are gloomy and how that affects you or how it affects the situation. Theft. In theft, we even see what's being stolen. So we're not left with any questions on, oh my goodness, what is being stolen? It's shown here in the card that falls to this side. And then the card at the other side is showing what either happens after that theft or how you are personally affected by that theft, by that loss. Expectation, what is being desired? Look straight into it. What's causing that desire? An emptiness, maybe. And then we have, I'll do sad news first. What's the sad news? You get the sad news card. You want to know what it is. You don't want to just sit there and think, oh my God, I'm getting negative news. I'm going to feel rubbish about this, but I don't actually know what it is. You get the card behind her back showing you what news is coming in that's bad. And on this case, we have journey, could be a cancelled journey, for example, or something about the flights you had booked isn't quite right. You get negative news on it. And then you find out in the card afterwards how that actually affects you personally. And then we have the whammy card, fatality. And the most amazing thing, like I said before, in the Kipper cards is that you don't have to just see, oh my God, something's dying. You are shown what? You are shown exactly what is going to end or who is going to end. By the diagonal coffin. So the coffin actually ends diagonally down the card so that you can see work is ending. There's an end to work. But the most amazing thing about the Kipper cards is it doesn't just end there, because fatality is such a negative card. You can also, there are multiple, we have a cause at the side. We have an effect at the other side. So that's 3 extra cards you've got on that fatality already. You have a card above and a card beneath to actually show you the full information on that dying, on that fatality. So you've got all that information now. If you join the World Kipper Association group in Facebook, you will have, I'm pretty sure I have a document in there with this in. But the way you start reading is you start by practicing with your main characters. If you are male, you use main character 1. If you are female, you use main character 2. And the partner card then is the opposite 1. Fatality does make you do extra work. So whether you, it depends what deck you have, whether there are extra cards for the sexes and same-sex relationships. But if you are female, that is your partner, regardless of whether your partner is male or female. If you are male, that's your card. And the main character 2 is your partner, whether they are female or male. So you treat them as characters. You treat them as partner cards. You don't necessarily get bogged down on the male versus female. You just take the one that represents you, and the other one represents your partner, regardless of sex. You shuffle in your deck, and you see what's above. What are your current thoughts? Hi, Maria. Hope you're feeling better now. We've been worried about you today because you've been so quiet. You take the card beneath and look at what feelings are. And then you look at the card behind. Sorry, reversed again. You look at the card behind to see what's inauspicious. Any card falling behind our backs as a main character is something that we don't deal with so easily during the day. I like that, Matty. So yes, the Rainbow Kipper has extra cards for to show relationships. So you take the card ahead of your main character as your positive or easy to deal with situation. You take the one behind their back as challenging, above as thoughts, beneath as feelings, and it's as simple as that to get started. If you want to run a narrative, you can take your main character out and in front of them say what's happening today. Pull 3 cards and read in the direction of your main character. This, then this situation runs into this one and to this. And you read in a narrative fashion from your main character through their line of sight, through your day. This is how your day will progress. And you can practice all the other information I've given you today. You can practice then on the bigger spreads. Or if you check out my YouTube channel, you will find Kipper from scratch, lessons 1 through 6 or 7, I believe, that will set you on your Kipper journey. And you shouldn't actually need anything more than that. But I would really advise joining the World Kipper Association group on Facebook, pulling your reads and tagging me in, because I would love to see them. Thank you all for being here. If I get any questions afterwards, I will still answer, so please feel free to put them in. And I'll see you all in the World Kipper Association group on Facebook, the World Divination Association group on Facebook, and of course the members group, because be there or be square. Thank you. Bye-bye.